Hello everyone, welcome to the Worthit podcast, episode number 3. Yay! Hi JD.
I can't believe we made it this far.
Yay, we made it. Quite a long way, yeah, this far, indeed.
A solid 3 episodes.
That's good. Well, 3 episodes plus...
And a special guest.
And a special guest, yeah. That's great. So, we're coming into, I think, mid-January now. And I guess that's around festival season and stuff, isn't it? Film fest season's January, February, isn't it? The Oscars come around very quick, very quickly after the New Year.
The holidays are over and everyone's ready to get back into it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, as we're recording this now, it's currently the 20th of December, and we are on the last day of our shoot for our short film interview, yeah, and it's gone good, hasn't it?
It's gone much better than I thought.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun actually, because, you know, as we were mentioning in last week's podcast, we were trying to shoot in that reverse chronological order.
Yeah.
Which at first kind of confused us, and we had to really sit down and look at it closely and see we were actually putting the right shots in the right place for the story context.
Yeah.
But in the end, actually, as I was reading, I had a full proper read of the script yesterday. I mean, I had already read the script prior.
You're reading like the script, You're looking like half of the shots, and you're like, I see it now.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it all works. And I just looked back at the footage then, and it looked really clean. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the actual end product when Alex actually gets on with editing. You should be done with it by next week, I think. It's meant to be released before Christmas, so
he's hoping. That being said, I'm not going to hold it to him if he doesn't get it done.
I think it'll be there, because it's only like a 5-minute long film. Should be a 5-minute long film, really. So
see, I'm estimating 3.
I mean, the recording.
We're all taking guesses backstage,
but I'm going to get it right. So
I'm the boss. I'm gonna get it right.
Yeah, that's it. No, to be honest, the recording for the interview bit was 3 minutes and 34 seconds. So it's going to be 5 minutes long.
I thought it was going to be like 1 minute and a half. Oh wow, we broke the limit.
Yeah, that's it. So today's podcast is actually going to be talking about acting. Okay, a little bit more in your favour.
I know, right? I feel at home now.
But it's hopefully going to answer a particular question that I kind of want to know. I don't know whether you have an answer to it yourself or whether there is an answer to it. Let's see.
Shoot, I can't wait to disappoint you.
So, yeah. I mean, in films, you see a difference between actors who are brought up acting from a very early age and people who have just been picked up off the street and gone, hey, do you fancy a role? You look perfect for it, right? So when you shoot real life stories, I know a guy from university who shot this film about a boxing club, and he used actual guys from the boxing club. It was about them, so he used them in the film because he reckoned that it would be more authentic, more realistic to have people who actually know the sport and know how to do that kind of thing over using an actor who has combat training, because he thought that if people have life experience in that situation, then they're more likely going to have a more genuine reaction on camera. And I want to know what your opinion. Do you reckon that's true, or do you reckon that's false?
It's a little of both, to be honest. The way you want to look at it is, if you have personal experience, that's great because you have a more genuine reaction. You have more real emotions deep down in your soul that you can then get out. Yeah. But if you've never acted before, it will show, because the first time anyone acts, it's scary. You've got to take command when everyone's looking at you to do everything for that one moment. Yeah. And if you don't do that job, time resets as we do another take. Yeah,
and there's also quite a large-scale misinterpretation, I think, when people perceive how films are actually made. They don't realise how much effort actually goes into it. They don't realise that people actually end up standing around a long time waiting for things to get set up, or we need to do like 6 takes of one thing just to get the shot right, or maybe someone missed the focus on something, so we need to do another 10 takes. And, you know, I think normal non-acting people as such kind of don't really realise that quite a lot, so maybe end up getting frustrated or, you know.
Especially, so with directing for the first time in film-wise with the interview now, I've come to realise all of the times when I've been on camera and it's like the director tells us, we're going to do it again. We don't change it. It's the exact same thing, but we're just doing it again. I'm now sat here directing on the other end. I'm like, oh, wow. The director's just being finicky with what shot he wants, because that's what I'm doing, and I feel really bad because I'm making everyone restart, and I'm having to tell people, you haven't done anything wrong, nothing's wrong, I can't decide what angle I want. I'm telling the cameraman to go this route instead.
Yeah, and that's the thing when we understand the industry roles as a whole. So actors who come in and just do acting don't really know cameras, don't really know audio, don't really know any stuff like that. So if a mistake happens and it's not explained very well by the director, and that's a really important part of the director's job, is to fully explain to the cast what's going on.
Yeah.
Because you're, as a director, you're meant to be like the liaise between yourself, the cameras, and the whole production itself, right?
You're the
man on set who makes the thing happen, right?
Yeah.
So it's your vision that's coming out on screen. So you need to tell the cast how they want to react in that certain scene.
Yeah.
You also need to tell the cameras, no, you need to go lower on that shot, or that focus needs to be much sharper. You need to get on with that and sort that out, right? There are certain aspects on a bigger set that other people take control of, like the director of photography takes a lot of control over focus pulling and the guys who do all that job. He takes control of the camera team a lot more than the director would at the time. So the director would come in and say, right, we set up in the shot list, it says an immediate MCU, so medium close-up, on shot 11.6, and he just set up now. So the director of photography goes in, sorts his camera team out, gets that shot set, gets it all lit, so the director can then spend the time talking to the cast to get the right reaction. And that's why you have split roles in on set. Yeah. But yeah, as you say, they've got to be that liaise, they've got to be that person who really fully explains stuff to everyone, so everyone's on the same page. Yeah, you'll still get the odd divas that...
Oh, you do, but the majority of the time, whenever I've worked with people who are starting out, or if they haven't done it before, you start making fun of the whole scenario. Yeah. You don't know why we're doing take 8 or take 11.
Yeah.
But something is clearly going wrong in the background. You don't know whose fault it is because no one's telling you. So you just start making laughs about it. And that's where that, I guess, charisma comes from in actors, where you're just able to laugh and roll with it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And it obviously helps pass the time, is all I can say.
Obviously.
Because whenever I'm directing, I've never sat on either side of the camera, so I've never waited or anything like that. But when I'm directing, there's something going wrong or there's something needs sorting out, I'm always there on the scene trying to help us sort out the problem. So I'm always working in my head. So I sometimes don't even notice that people are waiting around. And when I turn around and look and I see, like for example on Hunted, when I saw you guys had a London umbrella, and I was thinking, wow, we can't shoot anymore. That's at that point where I've looked up and gone, oh my god, I need to direct it as well. Because sometimes when we're on smaller sets for short films and stuff, we have to take on multiple roles and do different bits and pieces because either someone said, oh, I can't turn up today, or something like that, and we need to kind of pick up like 2-3 roles. So whilst you direct, you're director of photography, and whilst you do that, you also might focus pull on a scene or something like that. You'll pick up the clapperboard, and
I guess that rolls back into experience versus authenticity. The authentic is you're stood there waiting and you're just like, but the experienced actor is, he gets it. The director's doing something very specific. He doesn't have time to keep telling you, no, you're fine. Just stand there.
What I've noticed as well is some of the more experienced actors also can wade in and help and suggestions for shots and stuff when there's a difficulty. So they feel like, I think you should go like a wide shot on this to get us both in. Some of the more experienced actors will step up and say, hey man, why don't you try this? I think if I react like this, it'll be much better on screen. Or, if they've studied their character enough, they know in their own head how their character should react. So a lot of the time, the director wades in and goes, "Oh, I reckon that you should like cry in this scene." Or you go, "No, because in the profile, I'm meant to be like a strong-willed person. So why am I going to cry?" And some of the more experienced actors will do that. Other than non-experienced actors will go, "Oh, okay, I'll cry then." And then it's nothing like the character. It looks out of place on screen at the end because all of a sudden your big strong character, your hero in the film, breaks down and cries in the middle out of nowhere, and you're like, what's going on?
Because it's something that people don't seem to recognise is how over the course of an entire shooting for the film, so much changes. We're on like version 6 of the script at this point, and it's had to change due to people's availability, locations, props, budgets, how the deadlines. The script will change. There's no way around that. No matter who you are, the script is going to change before that film is finished.
And what the funniest thing is as well is not only does it change before you start filming, but it also changes whilst you're filming. So you could be like all the way at the end of the film. You could be on final day, You still be editing the script slightly and changing bits and pieces. I mean, didn't we change a bit last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
We
so
did. We changed.
literally,
That's what I mean. That's why
we changed the script.
I was thinking, we're on 5. No, it's gone to 6 now. We're on version 6 of the script.
Yeah, that's right. And that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's good because development leads to, I guess, new ideas and new concepts and stuff that maybe wasn't thought of before in the process. But whilst you work with other crew and other creative, talented people, they can suggest that why do we do this or why do we do that. And, that can be down to experienced actors and stuff, which leads back to the question. So actors can sometimes be better in situations than actual real life experience. So, I mean, in
an ideal scenario, if you can find an experienced actor who has had life experience in a subject or a field that you're filming about, that is a good angle to go for.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess I don't think I've ever used myself people who don't act as like a profession or a side thing or whatever, or haven't had experience in acting or haven't got a degree in drama or something like that. I don't think I've ever used just normal people in a film myself, so I haven't actually tried it.
I've always wanted to just pick someone off the streets and go, you look like you need to be in a film, come with me.
Yeah it takes a lot of self-confidence as well, doesn't it, I guess, for people to say that. You might get a lot of people to go, no, I don't fancy that at all. That's not for me, or something like that, even though the story's about them or a person like them. Some people will just turn around and straight up say no. But there's been a lot of, I guess, that particular film I was talking about, the boxing that came out, is fantastic. It's really, really good. You got stuff like Eminem in 8 Mile, so he's not acted before himself, but he wrote the story about him, about his upbringing, about his stuff like that, and he acted and he won an Oscar for it. Right, so I guess it does work. It definitely does work. But I think you just got to pick your stuff carefully. Do you think that it's genre based?
No, I think it's person to person.
Yeah.
Acting is literally giving emotions. You are emoting.
Yeah.
People do that naturally.
Yeah.
We all do it at some point or another, but some people are more emotive than others.
Yeah, but I feel personally like it's a lot easier to get someone off the street, as you say, to act in something that's sporting related or music related.
Yeah, because there's a common and popular
and popular, but also it's quite easy to get yourself into like a mental state to do a sport quite easily. So like you get like the likes of back again to the same example, the boxing thing, right? It's a sport, so people can get into the ring and be who they've trained to be, and they don't have to worry then about needing to act or show emotion. They just do what they normally do in training, and it looks natural and authentic. It's perfect. But if you get like a person off the street just to act in like a really high intense drama,
I mean that boxer suddenly,
you're gonna see the missing teaching, because there is always an advantage in being taught stuff over doing it yourself and progressively learning and educating yourself. There's always like a leg up, I guess. So when I went to university, I learned how to actually do stuff rather than using my like I guess my self-taught experience, and that helped and set me up for quite a lot of stuff, I guess. So I think actually learning to be an actor does give you a massive advantage.
Oh, easily. I mean, it goes back to a conversation not too long ago I had with you on how we're two different sides of the same coin. You've got the actual know-how, you've got the terminology, you have the contacts, you've gone through the actual works of uni, and I just went from the ground up and said, no, I'm just going to do. Yeah.
But now, when you say you're just going to go and do, but right now, over the past couple of months of stuff, you've learnt loads, right? You've learnt loads about different roles and different...
I mean, first time I ever heard a director just shout, turn over, take, etc., etc., I was lost. I was looking at everyone else like, why do we go back to position?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Why are we all going backward? Why is everyone taking steps backwards?
Yeah.
And you start freaking out, but once you start clicking pieces together, or even just asking, saying, listen, I'm new.
Yeah.
You piece it together, you learn, and it builds on it. I'll never know the name of whoever found this form of art in this year God knows when,
Mm-hmm.
but I know what I need to know right now because it's something I'm actually doing.
Yeah, we do actually have a lot of pointless exercises and learning stuff at university that don't you at the time you don't think they relate to anything, but when it comes to actually doing the film or making the film or whatever role you envisage yourself in, sometimes when you look back at university and think, right, I remember we did like a text about this guy that said that doing this kind of shot always works better than this. Like, why don't we try that? And lo and behold, bloody hell, he's right. Oh my God, would you believe it? Those guys at university were right. Wow, the teachers. So sometimes, like, at the time, whilst you're going through the educational bit, you think this is so pointless. Like the 180-degree rule. Have you heard of that rule?
180-degree rule.
There's a thing called crossing a line, right?
Yes, I do know this because it came up during filming.
Yeah. Because Alex stood on that side and no, he's crossing the line.
Yeah.
And he just went, oh, okay. Because we both got taught the same thing. There was a lecturer that always hammered it into our brains, not cross the line at all.
I was saying to Alex what he needs to do for the next shot, and I was saying, I'm trying to think whether we should just go for another 180 or if you should go 360 degrees around the character, and he just went, 100-degree rule, 180-degree rule. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You want to say a bit more?
So, for those, if anyone's listening who don't actually know what the 180-degree rule is, or crossing the line as they call it, it's the notion that if you shoot a subject, like an over-the-shoulder shot in a conversation scene, and your subject on your right side then changes in the next shot to be on your left side of the camera, it looks like they're pointing in the same direction as the person they're talking to on screen in the end. It's really weird. It's quite baffling when you think about it. But that's down to doing this thing called crossing a line. So if you draw a line in between your two people, your two actors, and you don't go over the other side of the said line. So say, for example, you split them right down the middle.
Yeah.
The line goes right through. Don't go to the other side of the line. You'll be absolutely safe. As long as you're... So say, for example, if you, JD, were on the right side and Lish was on the left. Lish has to stay on the left when we do the reverse shot. Otherwise, he's crossed the line.
Yeah.
Completely. And it's something that we got absolutely hammered into at the university, and I've never forgotten. It's hilarious. It makes such a difference. It's such a huge difference. It's unbelievable. The other thing was audio. They always said that audio is like 80% of your project. You don't have good audio, you don't have a good project. Just quit that while you're at it. You know, that's why I was panicking so much the other day when we couldn't get the audio to work properly. I was thinking, it's all over. It's all over. We're gonna fail.
We're looking at this very small microphone built onto the camera. Like, please be enough.
Please work. Yeah, because we always have. I don't think there's ever a smooth set day. There's always something that goes wrong, but what you need to be aware of is you need to make sure you have the proper plan for it.
Yeah.
To ensure that if something does go wrong, you have a contingency that you can always.
There's never been a day of filming that hasn't had something go wrong.
Yeah.
The weather, someone's dropped out, someone has injured themselves, someone's forgotten a piece of kit.
Yeah. That's mainly my problem, that forgetting kit. I'm too forgetful.
On my side, everyone's just dropping out. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's it. So
let's adapt the script again.
So give me an opinion, JD. If you were to write a true story script, would you cast the lead role as a non-acting person but had years of experience in the subject area that you're writing in?
Is it a feature film or a short film?
Doesn't matter.
I'd say an actor, to be honest.
You'd say an actor.
If you could find an actor who has experience or even favoritism to that subject, but I wouldn't want to cast someone just because they have a lot of experience with the subject.
What about if you wrote a film that was about that particular person?
If it was about a specific person, even then, like, I'd offer and say, listen, do you want to try for it? Get a jump start in the auditions. But if they can't cut it, by all means, don't just get someone else.
There we go. So that's the answer to the question. Wow. We actually answered the question rather than just talk about it and leave it on a cliffhanger like last week. What is art? Who knows? Who knows what art
It
is?
still keeps me awake at night.
Yeah.
What is art?
I do want to do another podcast about what is art, actually.
Oh.
Because we could talk forever about that thing.
Well,
We'll
have to
get
get
another
Ella
guest
back.
on. We'll get a different guest on. We'll talk more about that. We'll just baffle them and their poor brains. I reckon we should do that every single time we get some like a guest on.
What is art?
We should say to them as the first question. You just tell me what art is. Yeah. Just stare at them until they give me a proper answer. But yeah, that's the end of this podcast. It's a shorter one this time. I really do hope you enjoyed listening along to it. If you did, watch it over on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe for more content. Go onto our channel, check out all our other series. There should be plenty of little episodes. You can actually go and watch Interview. That'll also be up there. I might put a link to that in the description below or somewhere around on the screen if you can click on it there. If you listen to us on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever we get this podcast up to, then make sure you come over and check out all our social media sites for more bits and pieces, behind the scenes footage, tutorials, and loads more, I guess.
Just updates. I'll probably start taking pictures behind the scenes and just start goofing around while you're busy doing anything important.
Perfect. So, JD, thank you very much for appearing on this episode.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So we'll see you all next Wednesday.
I'll see you next Wednesday then, Tom.
Farewell.
Bye.